If you've ever done an online search about incense making, there's a good chance that you've seen references to something called Mako. Now, some sources even say that you can't roll incense without it. Well, that certainly isn't true. The term Mako has been a source of confusion to lots of incense makers. I have to admit that I'm to blame for at least a little of the confusion. Some incense makers call Mako a binder, while others call it a burning agent. In this video, I'm going to clear up the confusion and show you some simple ways to use Mako in your incense making. That's coming up on this edition of Incense Magic. Binders are a type of glue that's used in incense sticks, cones, and other forms to hold all of the ingredients together and to maintain the shape of the incense once it's dry. Without a binder, it's extremely difficult to make functional incense sticks or cones. There are two basic categories of binders. Gum binders include guar gum, xanthan gum, tragacanth, and others. Wood binders include tabu no ki, joss powder, and jigget. Mako fits into the second category. The term Mako simply means incense powder in Japanese. It's the broad nature of the term that's led to confusion. Several decades ago, when I first learned about Japanese incense making techniques, I was a member of an online incense discussion group called Alice's Restaurant. When someone mentioned it, I innocently asked, "What's Mako?" and immediately received two contradictory answers. One person, who was an importer of Japanese incense, said that Mako was another term for tabu no ki. Tabu no ki is the bark of a tree that grows throughout Asia. Tabu no ki, or tabu powder, is a light brown color that has good adhesive properties, and it's virtually scentless. It has a variety of uses, but for incense makers, tabu is one of the two primary wood incense burners. Now, a few minutes after I received the response from the incense importer, a Buddhist monk who belonged to the group said that Mako was actually a blend of aloes wood, sandalwood, clove, and other ingredients that were blended for use in incense rituals, such as soneko. I'm not a Japanese speaker, so I might be terribly mispronouncing that. In my books, I refer to this approach as an incense trail. In this style, an impression is made in a bed of white ash, and then that's filled with Mako. One end of the trail is lit, and then the trail slowly burns to the other end. Various resins and herbs are often placed along the trail as well. Finally, I also received a response that Mako was a blend of tabu powder, clove, and other ingredients that were used in Japanese incense centuries ago when sandalwood was virtually unavailable. It was a poor man's blend that could be used in place of the aloes wood and sandalwood blends that were available to the wealthy. So that's three different explanations of the term Mako. To make matters even worse, one of the major Japanese incense companies that sells in the USA refers to tabu no ki as Mako, while an even larger Japanese incense company sells Mako that's actually a blend of tabu no ki and some highly scented ingredients. Is it any wonder that it's confusing? I want to offer my own way at looking at this situation to hopefully eliminate some of the confusion. For years, I went with the explanation that Mako and tabu no ki were the same thing because I used to buy from the importer who told me that. It always left me confused when people talked about Mako as a burning agent. It was just a binder with some of the properties of a base, but it was no better than any other base material. Not too long ago, I was talking to a Canadian incense maker who was asking about finding the other kind of Mako. After that conversation, I went back to look through my message archives to try and clarify this for myself. After looking over old notes and conversations, thank goodness for archives, I finally settled on a much clearer way of labeling these products. So when I use the terms now, I refer to the plain binder as tabu no ki, or tabu powder. Tabu powder is an excellent binder-based combination, not only because it has excellent burning and binding properties, but it's also virtually scentless. It easily absorbs the scents of other ingredients, and it basically disappears into the scent of the aromatics you use in your incense. If you roll a cone from Tabu powder, it should burn okay, but it's only going to have a faint scent of wood and nothing else. When I refer to Mako, I mean Tabu no Ki mixed with clove and other aromatics. Unlike Tabu powder, Mako is nicely scented. Different incense makers use a variety of secret blends for their Mako. You can make your own Mako blend if you wish. It's nice to use your custom Mako as a basis for all of your blends if you want to give them a common undercurrent. Now, many Asian incense makers use this approach, and it's said that if you have a really sophisticated palate, you can even determine the incense maker's identity based on that undercurrent of scent. I don't think I could do that, but maybe you can. Mako is incense in its own right. If you take a bit of Mako and add some water, you can roll a pleasantly scented cone. It'll burn nicely and release a subtle scent that's going to complement a lot of different aromatics. Most Mako blends contain clove, which helps the incense burn hotter, thus a burning agent. Because Mako contains clove, it really is a burning agent. It's darker brown than Tabu powder, and it has a pleasant scent even when unburned, so it's easy to tell Tabu no Ki from Mako powder. Which one should you use? The simple answer is you should use whichever one you like. You can even use both, although you probably wouldn't want to use both in the same blend. If you don't want to change the scent of the aromatics in your incense, then look for Tabu no Ki. If you don't mind having the flavor of your incense impacted by the scent, use Mako. If you have a blend that's difficult to burn, use Mako since it contains clove. As with all other things, the choice is ultimately up to the incense maker. Always keep in mind that you don't have to use Mako or Tabu powder in your incense. There are a lot of other binders out there, but I personally think that Tabu is the best binder for making masala-style incense sticks. Well, this wouldn't be much fun without a recipe, so let's try this out. The great thing is you can use either Mako or Tabu powder in this recipe. You'll get different results from each, but they're both going to be awesome. As always, your ingredients should be completely dry and powdered. So take 1 tablespoon of Mako or Tabu no Ki, add a teaspoon of frankincense and 2 teaspoons of cedarwood. Blend the dry ingredients and add water. About a tablespoon should be good for this recipe, but you should always adjust the amount of water to fit your blend. You want a mix that holds together well without being too wet and sloppy. If the incense cracks or breaks as you roll it, add more liquid. If the incense is too wet and you can't shape it, add a little more Mako or Tabu powder. Roll into cones or sticks or whatever shape you prefer and set aside to dry in a cool, dark place. Well, that's it for this edition of Incense Magic. If you've enjoyed this video, I hope you'll visit my website, theincensedragon.com, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until next time, bright blessings.